So, are you guys ready for the synopsis to begin? I feel like I should take a drink. By the way, this is not water. It's Coke. Whew! Okay, guys, as you can see right here, five of us read The Library of Lost Things, okay, by Laura Taylor Namey. Five. So, it's fine, but whatever. So we have our main character who's sitting right here. Her name is Darcy Wells, and she's a literary genius. Okay. I will get more into that in a second, but she is a literary genius. Okay. And it's not just like, oh, she's good at reading. Like, she's got special powers. All right. It's already starting off really bad. So she's 17, she's going on 18, and she's a senior in high school, which I know a lot of people don't like the fact that we're reading about high schoolers. She lives in an apartment with her mother, and her mom is a hoarder. Okay, so I thought that was kind of an interesting element to this book, that her mom was like this massive hoarder, and she lived in like a hoarder apartment. And her mom's name's Andrea Wells, and she works at, I think, Macy's as an Eliza B cosmetics distributor. Okay, so she's like a cosmetic sales rep or something like that. It's kind of giving MLM a little bit, but yeah. So anyway, okay, cool. So she sells cosmetics, but like they kind of said in the book that she was a good salesman of cosmetics. Like for some reason she did well. Like she was successful at her job, but it was just when she gets home, she starts to hoard and stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of like Arbonne or Unique. Like that's what it's felt like to me. Anyway, if you're wondering where her dad is, he left for Thailand before she was born. Okay, he had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to teach, and he basically left the family, left her, and she hasn't ever seen him, doesn't know him, never met him. Okay, he left for Thailand, and he said, see you later. So he's gone, out of the picture. All she knows is that he used to be like an English teacher, and that's allegedly where she gets her love of books from. Okay, yeah, it's not well written. Her mom used to love books before the breakup as well, but now she like doesn't read. Okay, she's devastated by the breakup between the dad, even though it's been 18 years. So yeah, and they live, by the way, to set the scene, they live in San Diego. Okay, so very nice area, kind of, or whatever. Cool. Okay. So one of the other main characters is Darcy. Sorry, to Darcy is her best friend Marisol. And Marisol is half Cuban, half Mexican. Okay, representation. And she's got big dreams of becoming a fashion designer. For some reason, I think it's important to know she also loves bubblegum. That was a big part of the book. Was her bubblegum. She carried bubblegum around everywhere. And you could smell her from a mile away because she always had bubblegum. And Darcy, like as far as Darcy, I think she also wants to become like an English teacher. She's got like big English teacher dreams. I don't know if it's like English teacher or professor, something to do with books. Yeah, not the bubblegum. Yeah. So there you go. I mean, it's really no secret why no one wanted to read this book now that I'm kind of doing the synopsis. It's all good though. So anyway, hold on. I just did something that I shouldn't have done on here. I accidentally deleted stuff. Okay. So, as mentioned, you're probably wondering, okay, how is she a literary genius? Like, let's get into this a little bit. All right. Let's try to figure this one out. So she's basically a walking dictionary, and she can remember line for line virtually every book she's ever read. Okay. So like right now she can think of Harry Potter, and she can remember like the whole page basically. So I don't know, but it's not like advertised as a photographic memory, but she remembers words and things like that. I don't know. So anyway, that's basically it. And she also can remember basically every word from the dictionary. She's like a walking dictionary. She's a pick-me. Yeah. And so she likes to play fun games with her friends. Like this is something that a lot of friends like to play, and it's called Word of the Day. So her and Marisol play word of the day, where basically Darcy will give Marisol a word and Marisol has to guess the definition. Yeah. So it's really fun. It's really fun, guys. Like there's a lot. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool girl stuff. I mean, it is. It's yeah. So anyway, Darcy has lived in her apartment with her hoarder mother all her life, but it recently got new management. Okay, so new management came into the apartment complex and they're shaking things up. They've decided to update everything. And she is like, okay, no one is allowed, like she's desperate to hide the mess inside of the apartment because it's so, yeah, she just got a rent increase. Yeah. She's desperate to hide it though. Okay. She will go to great lengths throughout the book to keep people from entering her apartment. She won't let anyone see inside. She won't let anyone come near the door. They've got all the windows closed at all times. Like she goes to great lengths. She will lie. She would lie, cheat, and steal to keep people out. And basically the only person that she will allow over is Marisol. And the other person that she allows over is Marisol's cousin. And he only comes over to fix things in the apartment, so no one else has to come in and fix things. So like he will come over and fix like a leaky faucet or whatever. Marco, yeah. So basically that's kind of it's a very small circle, okay, of people that will come in. And she wants to keep the new landlord away and anybody away because she's afraid that they will get evicted. But even more so, she's afraid that CPS will be called and she will be taken away from her mother at 17 years old. She's literally about to turn 18 in like a couple days. She has a birthday in this book. That's literally in a week. Okay. Was it her cousin or brother? It's all a blur. I think it was her cousin, But it's like, okay, yeah, like, girl, you're really fine. Like, yeah, like CPS they're not going to come and take you away from your mom. Okay. So anyway, she keeps repeating this over and over though. Like, I'm so worried CPS is going to come take me from my mom. I don't want to be taken away from my mom. I don't want to be taken away. Yeah. Like it's riveting stuff, guys. So yeah, that's basically the situation. So here's a little bit more. I know you guys you're dying to know, can I get more information about the hoard? Okay, like what's the hoarding situation? So it's described as not really like a typical hoarder mess that you would see like on Hoarding Buried Alive or something like that. It's kind of like tons of tubs and dishes filled with things. And it's like basically her mom's a shopping addict and she just like all of her stuff just piles up. Yeah, she calls things the goat tunnels. Like there's goat tunnels throughout the house of like where you could walk, like small spaces, but everything else is, yeah, like just kind of like just tubs of things. Like there's a lot of makeup and whatever. So it kind of feels like my house, honestly. I saw a lot of myself in Andrea Wells. Anyway, her mom basically does it to fill a void or whatever. Obviously, that's like all hoarders. But her mom regularly forgets to pay bills and buy groceries. So she likes to buy like cosmetics and stuff from Crate and Barrel and shit like that, but she won't for some reason buy groceries, or like she doesn't buy anything for her daughter, which I find to be a little interesting. Like she never buys anything for Darcy, and it's just all like random stuff like coasters and whatever. So Darcy often has to help out. She has to be like the adult between the two. She's often like begging with her mom to please pay down your credit card bills and stuff like that. Like she's taken on that role. Okay. So she gets very mad at her mom a lot about her mom not paying bills. So Darcy and her mother, they've been to counseling. I know you're wondering, have they been to counseling? Yes, they have been, but it never improved the situation, which is interesting to note for later, that it never improved. Okay. And now Darcy's mom has like a severed relationship with her own mother. So Darcy's grandma, and her grandma is also very rich. Okay. Also important to note. So anyway, basically her mom has no relationships. Okay. No relationships. So yeah. Okay. It's all sounding very, very good. Like these people are very good. Okay. So anyway, Darcy works at a bookstore. Now, this is the reason why I wanted to read this book in the first place, because I wanted like a fall, book where they were like, she worked at a bookstore. It was a cozy romance. I didn't get any of that, but it is what it is. So she works at Yellow Feather Bookstore, which is owned by Mr. Winston, a grumpy divorcee who works directly next to his ex-wife, Tess, who owns a wig store called Top's Wig Emporium. Okay. So I don't know if you guys need me to read that again, but basically she works at the bookstore. Right next door is a wig emporium. Mr. Winston owns the bookstore. Tess owns the wig shop, who's his ex-wife. And neither of them in the divorce wanted to give up like the building that they live in, so they just split it in half. So yeah, okay. It's hard to keep all this stuff together, guys. It really is. Okay, so anyway, during her lunch breaks, Darcy likes to go sit and talk to Tess and try on wigs with her. When she is on one of her breaks, she notices Asher Fleet. Okay. Asher Fleet, enter in main character love interest Asher Fleet. He's hanging shelves at Top's Wig Emporium, okay? So she's like, ooh, like what's he doing hanging shelves here? So a little bit more about Asher Fleet, okay? He's a recent high school graduate who was supposed to have gone off to the U.S. Naval Academy to fly airplanes, but he couldn't do that because he got into a devastating car accident the year prior and basically missed out on his whole senior year. And all of his dreams were dashed at that point. So now he's back and he's like working as a handyman. So I'll get a little bit more into that in a second. So anyway, Darcy is basically like, she has an awkward exchange with him right away. Asher Fleet's the worst name ever. I agree. So Top Gun, yeah, it's bad, guys. Anyway, so she has like a really awkward exchange with him, and she's socially awkward. She like runs into the wall or something like that, and then she like awkwardly scurries off. And basically, this is the first time we see her interact with like another guy her age. She's characterized as being very socially awkward, having no experience with boys except for in her books. So it's like that obvious trope of like, oh my God, she's always got her nose in a book. She's like, she loves love stories, but can never find love for herself. Like, so stupid. Okay. It's like, I just for once want to read a book about someone who's like not just, who's like normal. Like, I don't need like a total social outcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that read books are not like totally socially like inept. I don't know. All right, whatever. It's a bad look, guys. It's a bad luck for us readers. So anyway, Darcy discovers from Marisol that Asher is working as a handyman for his uncle, who is a lawyer across the street at a legal firm. Okay, so it's all very. I just try to keep all this together, guys. Top's Wig Emporium, Yellow Feather Books. There's a legal firm across the street, and Asher works there as the handyman. But for some reason, he's hanging shelves at Top's Wig Emporium. Okay? So, okay. Guys, this gets really bad. Just hang on to your hats because it's getting worse. It's getting worse really soon. Okay, so Darcy meets up with Grandma Wells a couple days later, maybe that same night. And she's widowed, okay? But she's living large still. Don't worry about that one. And she lives near the beach. She lives in La Jolla, okay? They have a very awkward dinner where she asks Darcy to move in with her and tells her that if she doesn't move in with her, the payments that she's been sending her are going to stop. So she's like, okay, no more payments, even though, should you be sending her payments when she's 18 anymore? Maybe not, but whatever. Darcy cannot afford to miss out on Grammy's checks. She cannot, okay? She cannot. So this is a very big deal because she doesn't want to move out of her mom's house because she's like attached to her mom, and her mom's are all she's ever known, but she's also a hoarder. But she also doesn't want to move in with her grandma, but she also doesn't want to, lose out on the checks, okay? So, all right. Marisol is working on the costumes for the high school play. Okay, so this is a big side story. Okay. Not even side story, like main one of the storylines. So she's working on costumes for the high school play. Like I said, she's a big time up and coming designer. So she's been tasked alone to make all the costumes for the Much Ado About Nothing play. All right. And I think it's like a Shakespeare play or something like that. I'm not sure. But she asked Darcy to sit in on play practice with her. Okay. And while she's there at play practice, she sees Asher Fleet again. Because which by the way, Asher Fleet has already graduated. But she sees him at play practice the very next day. Okay. Number one. For some reason, he's been tasked with helping out the stage construction since I guess he's the town handyman. All right. So he's helping make the set. And he graduated last year, by the way. So not sure what he's doing back, but all right. Number two, he is best friends with the lead male of the play named Jace Donnelly. Okay. And number three, reason why he is there when he totally shouldn't be, is that he's dating one of the lead actresses named London Banks. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, yeah. So, guys, this is heating up. He's got a girlfriend. Okay? Not good. We don't want to see stuff like that. We do not want to see the main love interest having a girlfriend. Okay? Jason Asher, cover your drinks, ladies. Yeah, exactly. These names are something else. Okay, Marisol asks why Asher is staring at Darcy so intensely, like he's into her or something. So she sees him for the first time yesterday at Topps Wig Emporium, has never spoken to him before, and then awkwardly leaves after she runs into the wall and falls down and then scurries off. And then the next day, he's like on stage looking at her. And Marisol goes like, why is he staring at you? Like, he looks like he's like really into you. Like, he's staring at you. Literally word for word. I remember this because I was like, oh my God, this is so cringe. She's like, he's staring at you like softly. Like, it's not like he hates you. Like, he's staring softly, like intensely. Softly. Oh my God. Stop. It's so cringe. Okay. So Darcy goes home that night to have a heated exchange with her mother over an unpaid bill. Okay. So this is typical conversations of 17-year-olds, I guess, in the story. And her mother is basically having a total breakdown, all right, over missing holiday cards in the living room. So because she's like a hoarder, she's like, oh my God, I'm missing 2 holiday cards. Like, she's going through her stuff on the ground. And she's like, where's my holiday cards? And meanwhile, Darcy's like, you need to pay this bill now, okay? No resolution is met. It's just a very awkward, like, cold exchange between the two of them, and no one finds the missing holiday cards and no one pays the bill. Okay. Getting Twilight flashbacks of Bella's mom commenting on how Edward stares and watches her. Yeah. The next day, Darcy gets formally introduced to Asher by Tess when she is over at Topps Wig Emporium to try on wigs. So like I said, guys, just to keep you updated, Darcy goes over to Topps Wig Emporium like every day on her lunch break. So when she's over there, like, Tess will oftentimes like put wigs on her and like dress her up in the wigs, because I guess they don't have any other customers, because why would a wig store have a lot of customers ever? Like, it's like, the way that they say it is like, it's like tacky wigs, like almost like Halloween wigs. So I don't know. She just goes over there every day and tries on wigs and stuff like that. Okay. All right. So anyway, so she gets formally introduced to Asher by Tess when she's over there. And Darcy asks Tess why she always wears wigs. Okay, so here, people are asking, they want to know more about the wig person. Here we go. She asked Tess, why are you always wearing a wig? Because Tess always wears a wig every day. Yeah. Just another busy day at the wig store, said no one ever. Yeah. So she's like, why are you wearing wigs? Like, are you ever going to show me your real hair? All right, so keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. This is going to get big someday. This is going to get big. So anyway, She's like, are you ever going to show me your real hair? And Tess goes, look, maybe one day, but every girl needs a secret. Okay? Every girl needs a secret. So the mystery, it's mysterious, guys. It's mysterious. So don't know what's under the wig yet. Okay? Darcy and Marisol devise a plan to make up for Granny's check stopping. All right? Like I said, she cannot afford to not have no Granny's checks. So Darcy decides she's gonna sell her mom's hoarder cosmetics without her knowing on eBay. Okay. So she basically is like steals her mom's lipsticks, even though the one thing that sets her mom off more than anything is when her hoard goes missing and she can't locate something. So Darcy decides she's gonna steal her mom's hoard and sell it on eBay. To make up for like lost money and stuff like that. So, and she's gonna like do it in private. Okay, this is a big scene, next big scene. So I want everybody to pay attention. I really need you to pay attention to this next scene because it's a big scene. Martha, hello. Marcy and sorry, I just combined both of those names. Marisol and Darcy attend a beach party at a fellow classmate's house named Bryn. Bryn is a rude ballerina girl. Okay, she's like the high school ballerina. Like everybody knows her as the ballerina. And she's going off to be in some big ballet production. So she throws a going away party of sorts. Okay? A going away party. Love it. All the cool kids are there. And of course that means Asher and his girlfriend London are there. Yes. Yes, they are. Basically, all the theater kids are there. Okay. Before every party, Marisol has to physically confiscate all of Darcy's books. Otherwise, she will read them instead of talking to each other. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. So she literally, this party, let me see what I wrote. Allegedly, she brought 3 books to this party that Marisol had to physically confiscate. So she wouldn't be reading on the beach instead of talking to her classmates. Okay? So once again, not a good look for us readers. Not a good characterization. Okay. Juicy? Yeah. Darcy overhears Asher and London arguing on the beach, but returns to the bonfire when there's a big commotion. Wait, what the hell did I write? Asher and London start making out on a beach blanket by the fire. Okay, so now everybody's around the fire, just sitting around the fire, and they're making out on a beach blanket. Okay, I can't believe this actually happened. I can't believe I'm about to read this. Bryn gives a drunken farewell speech before exclaiming that she's tired of entertaining everyone and wants someone else to entertain her for a change. Okay? So apparently she's like, I'm sick of it, guys. Like, it's your turn. It's your turn. Even though this is my party, it's your turn to entertain me. So she singles out Darcy and says she wants everyone to try and stump her with a word from the dictionary that she doesn't know. Okay? Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, this is really happening, guys. This is really happening. London jumps up. Okay? She jumps up to start trying to stump Darcy and eventually strikes a nerve when she asks Darcy if she knows what eremite means. Okay? Does anybody, show of hands, does anybody know what eremite means? Okay? Does anybody know? And by the way, this is happening at a high school party where everybody's drinking and supposed to be like, this is the cool crowd. What does it mean, guys? What does eremite mean? Because Darcy knew. Darcy knew. Okay. It means hermit. The word means hermit. And Darcy knew this. Okay? She knew this. And she's literally holding back tears when she realizes that she found the one word that perfectly describes her. Okay? So she doesn't want to say it. She's holding back tears. And then somebody saves her, Saved by the Bell. And somebody yells, "This game is really boring." So basically, at that point, everyone disperses, but Asher looks on with horror. He looks on with horror, okay? And it was literally one of the dumbest, most dramatic scenes of a book that I have ever had the misfortune of reading. Yes. So, guys, don't ever say Aramite around me ever again, okay? Like, seriously, that's offensive. Like, literally. Okay. This is so bad. It gets worse. No, it actually... Wait till you get... No, we're only scratching the surface of how bad this is. Okay. Asher was horrified, but he didn't do anything. He didn't stand up for Darcy at all. He didn't stop his crazy girlfriend from going all, dictionary mode on her. But yeah, okay. So, the next day at Yellow Feather Books, a woman returns a Peter Pan book she claims is too annotated to be useful. Okay, she wants her money back. It has thousands of strange poems and anecdotes written on the side of each page. Darcy becomes fascinated by this mystery annotator. Okay, and she takes the book for herself instead of returning it to the shelves. Because she's like, oh my God, who's writing this? Yeah. Who do you... Guys, just take a guess right now. Who do you think this book belongs to? It can be anybody in the world. This book could belong to anybody in the world, okay? But it ends up in Darcy's hands. That's really, really interesting. Okay? So, anyway... Asher comes into the bookstore to browse the books and loiter on his lunch break. Okay? He is coming in to loiter on his lunch break. The two strike up conversation about Darcy's literary talent, which was mentioned at Bryn's party. Okay? She cornily explains her love of books to him. Okay? She's like, oh my God, you don't get like why I love them so much. They're everything to me. Like she's talking about this to a guy she's never met, has like a crush on. I mean, she's met him, but like it was a really cringy scene. I can't even get it across in words. Okay. And then all of a sudden Asher talks about his accident and how his dreams were dashed because he has PCS. AKA post-concussive syndrome. Okay? Because of this, he can't drink alcohol or eat sugar. Okay? So keep that in mind. This is really, really going to become important later on in the book. Okay? He cannot eat sugar. He cannot have alcohol. And he has post-concussive syndrome from the accident. Okay? By the way, it was a tragic accident, which I will discuss later. But the other guy died. Okay? Which... you'll see why it's funny in a little bit. Okay. A couple days later, Asher comes back into the bookstore and starts chatting up Darcy about Peter Pan. Because she's always reading the Peter Pan book that's got all these annotations in it. He cringely asks if Peter ever becomes one with his shadow. Darcy says, "You lost a shadow?" Question mark. He goes, "Yeah. Mine's lying somewhere on Del Mar Heights Road." I'm sorry. If you read the book, he brings up Del Mar Heights Road like a million times. He brings it up literally a million. He goes, Del Mar Heights Road. It's like, shut the fuck up about Del Mar Heights Road. Okay. Darcy needs to run an errand for the bookstore at the law firm across the street because of course she does. She talks to the... This is weird. She talks to the receptionist before spotting a little girl sitting alone in a hallway on a bench. Okay, so she spots this girl in the hallway. She asks the receptionist, "Who is she? Who's that little girl over there?" And asks if she can go talk to her for some reason. Okay? This is like a very young little girl by herself. The receptionist says her name is Olivia and that her mom is with an attorney right now, but can't say more than that because it's a very sensitive situation. Okay? Darcy approaches the little girl and tells her a weird story from memory, which the little girl allegedly enjoys. Okay? Like every corny cliche movie, she turns around to find Asher had been listening to her the entire time. Oh, God. He's like, you're amazing. Okay? You're amazing. So stupid. Asher follows Darcy back to the bookstore and tells her he forgot to get London a birthday gift. His girlfriend. He forgot. She tells him that they have bracelets in the corner that he can buy, and she'll wrap it for him. He asks which one she likes best, and she says the one with the arrow. He ends up buying one with a rose. And scene. That was it. Okay. The following day, Asher is once again hanging around in the bookstore because he's in there every day on his lunch break. Okay? He comes up with a fun game the two can play, which is, what celebrity couple name would we have? Okay? This is something that is totally normal and totally appropriate to do when you have a girlfriend. Okay? To come up with celebrity couple names for who you and, like, this girl would, like, what would you have? They decide on their name together would be Dasher. Like the reindeer. Okay? How can you read this? Oh my God. Literally so embarrassed.
You really should pick a different book.
I'm literally so embarrassed. Look at my neck. Oh my God. I literally want to quit right now. I need to log out. Oh my God. Okay.
Next book club, you need to pick like
I'm gonna pick a real one next time.
Like an adult book.
I'm picking an adult book.
This is kind of long adult.
She can't keep getting away with this. Okay. Marisol comes into the store to talk about their birthdays. Guys, big birthday bash coming up. Marisol and Darcy have birthdays the day before. The day before and after each other. So Darcy's birthday is the day right before Marisol's birthday, okay? They celebrate every year together. They're like attached at the hip the whole book. It's really, really weird. The two tell Asher about how they first became friends. In 4th grade, Darcy's mom forgot to bring in cupcakes. So Marisol saved her by saying that they would have a joint birthday party together tomorrow. And there would be cupcakes then. They have been friends ever since. Okay. Guys, it's a really, it's a heartwarming story. Later, Darcy meets up at a coffee shop with Grandma Wells. Enter Grandma Wells, who gives her an envelope from her father. Dun, dun, dun. The letter talks about how he has been keeping tabs on her and wishes he had been in her life and wonders if she will meet with him when he comes to the United States next year from Thailand. Oh, God. I can't do this. Grandma Wells tells Darcy the cold, hard truth, which is that her father realized...
Please just end this.
This literally gets so much worse. I'm not even halfway through. Grandma Wells tells Darcy the cold, hard truth, which is that her father realized that he and her mother were in a toxic relationship and that he only learned he had a daughter after he fled to Thailand. Apparently, Grandma Wells has been sending photos and updates to her dad all these years without telling anyone. Her reason for not telling Andrea, her own daughter, was that she hoped she would just forget about him and move on like he did. Okay. Yikes. Days later, Darcy is over at Top's Wig Emporium to pick up Maris. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is the worst scene of the whole book. Darcy is over at Top's Wig Emporium to pick up Marisol's red leather jacket. Tess notices she is down in the dumps because of the letter from her dad. So she puts her in a black ponytail wig, puts makeup on her, and tells her to try on Marisol's jacket. Red leather jacket. Darcy, in this moment, realizes she forgot to deliver a book to Asher's uncle at the legal firm. So she rushes over there in the wig and the red leather jacket. There's an angry man inside the law firm causing commotion, demanding to know where Asher is. Darcy realizes Asher is in big trouble. Okay? So she finds him on the construction site before the other guy can find him and tells him to come hide with her. They run out the back into the alleyway, and Darcy comes up with the bright idea to pretend to be two star-crossed lovers making out in an alley. She drew on all of her book. She drew on, like, what she does is she's like, what would this character do? Like, I don't know. Me, myself, like, I'm too awkward. I don't know what to do in this situation, but what would somebody in a book do? I got it. They would make out in an alleyway and pretend to be making out in an alleyway. Okay. I guess she read it in a book somewhere, yeah. It works. The guy gets arrested before he can find Asher. They are both shaken up by their steamy fomance, and Asher brings her out to eat tacos as a thank you for saving his life. Asher tells her that the guy was Olivia's dad, and he saw Asher help Olivia's mom to her car because he was stalking her, and assumed Asher was having a passionate love affair with her, so he was jealous, and he came to beat his ass. I don't really know, guys. Okay, while they're eating tacos, Asher talks about his accident. He was supposed to... This is the details of the accident, guys. This is the details of the accident. All right? This is what happened on Del Mar Heights Road. He was supposed to be home to meet his grandma, but instead, he decided he wanted to go out and party. So he left his house and got into an accident on where? Del Mar Heights Road. Okay. He said, by the way, he got into an accident because there was like this 63-year-old guy who like had a seizure driving, and he accidentally ran a red light and hit Asher, and the guy died. Okay. So anyway, that it was briefly mentioned, but it's like, okay. Guys, this is really important. He says he can fly again, and only can he fly again if he can be migraine free for 7 consecutive days. Okay? He keeps getting to like the 5th day. Okay? And he gets a migraine. Okay? I was migraine free till I read this book. It's, yeah. Okay. Moving on. Fast forward. Oh, here we go. Fast forward. It's opening night for the school play and also Darcy's birthday. Asher sits by Darcy and Marisol at the play. Okay. After the show, Asher meets up with London, but then quickly comes back to talk to Darcy like 5 minutes later. Okay. To tell her he has a good idea for her and Marisol's birthday. He tells them to meet him at the airport hangar. They all meet at the hangar like 30 minutes later without London and eat off a blanket and listen to music with a couple classmates. Now, here's what's crazy, guys. This part is fucking nuts. So listen up. Asher eats a cupcake. despite not being able to eat sugar because he has a crush on Darcy. So this was a big moment. He ate a cupcake. He ate a cupcake. Okay. Asher and Darcy end the night looking at stuff in the cockpit. Okay. They go into a plane and they start looking at stuff in the cockpit. All right. Nothing else happens. But you know. Darcy reveals to Asher that her dad sent her a letter. All right. Her dad sent her a letter. All right. Next day. I gotta take. Hold on a minute. Why do you keep choosing ship books? How the hell was I supposed to know? Okay. There's a school emergency. Uh-oh. School emergency, guys. The lead actress of the play has suffered an injury and can't perform. They need a literary genius to take her place while she recovers. Darcy gets recruited for the role and accepts with only 4 days to practice and no acting experience. Her biggest worry is that she will have to kiss Jace Donnelly, the other lead, and she's never kissed anyone before. Okay. Fast forward to the play night. Andrea Wells shows up to do Darcy's makeup in a very lackluster mother-daughter bonding moment. Okay? Darcy remembers all her lines without fail. Asher is in the front row, and she does well enough with her kiss with Jace. So the kiss with Jace goes well. Okay, her first kiss. I thought that there was going to be like something where they stopped the kiss from happening, and it wasn't going to really be her first kiss, but they go on with it. The curtain falls, everyone claps. There's no drama. There's nothing happens. Literally everything goes off without a hitch. After the show, they all go to an after party at Jace Donnelly's house where Asher and Darcy sit on swings and have deep talks that actually weren't that deep. Okay? She reveals to him that her mother is a hoarder. So this was a big scene. Okay? Because she hasn't told anybody. Later, Darcy, Marisol, and Asher are all in Yellow Feather books like the next day. Okay? When Asher lets it slip that Darcy's dad sent her a letter. Wow. Okay, he let that one slip. Marisol gets extremely upset and leaves when she realizes she didn't tell her, but told this random dude she only just met. She didn't tell Marisol at all, her number one best friend of life, that her dad sent her a letter. She told Asher Fleet. Okay? The guy whose shadow is stuck on Delmar Heights Road. Okay. Darcy comes home after a rough day of losing her one and only friend to find that her mom started putting her hoarder things in her room, which has typically been an off-limits zone. So she found a hoarder box in her room, and this literally sets her off, okay? And that's the end of that scene. Yeah. And she has like a fight with her mom, and then that was it. Marisol and Darcy make up virtually immediately when Darcy tells her that books aren't real, and Asher isn't real either, but Marisol is, and that's why she didn't tell her. All is forgiven. Later at Yellow Feather Books, Darcy finds an acorn charm and realizes that Asher left it for her because it's a Peter Pan reference. Okay? That part was the only effective part for me. Her relationship with her mom was one spark of something. Yeah. It was, there's a lot of interesting relationships. Apparently, Peter gives Wendy an acorn button after he asks if he can give her a kiss. Darcy confronts Asher about the acorn, and he reveals that he likes her. and that he and London broke up. Project Acorn, guys. It's Project Acorn. Presented by Asher Fleet. Darcy says she wants to take it slow because she feels like a rebound. Okay? Feels like a rebound. A little bit. Feels like a rebound. He literally broke up with her like 2 days before. Okay. They decide to go on a sushi date the next day, even though she's like, let's take this slow. They go on a sushi date the next day. And they talk about all the good stuff, like runaway fathers, hoarding, and of course, Del Mar Heights Road. What happened on Del Mar Heights Road? Okay. Couple days later at Top's Wig Emporium, Tess decides it's a good idea to finally reveal her real hair to Darcy. All right, drum roll. Who's ready for the wig reveal? Snatching the wig off her hair. Here we go, guys. This is a big moment, okay? It turns out, what do you guys think's underneath the wait? What do you think's underneath the wig? Okay, what do you think is underneath? I want to get some guesses in the chat. All right, she's bald. Love a queen who snatches her own wig. Ginger, Hannah Montana, bald. I don't even remember this. Wait till you see this. A book, short hair. Not reading that, Groban. Okay. This is what she reveals. It turns out she's got luscious, flowing, brown sugar colored locks. Her reason for always wearing wigs was, number one, for advertisement, but also for the mystery of it all. You thought acorns were under there? Holy shit. Oh my god. This is literally nothing is under the wig except for good, gorgeous hair. Just gorgeous hair. That's all. That was the secret, guys. Yeah. Okay. Another big bash takes place at Jace Donnelly's house, where Asher and Darcy are basically each other's dates, and they sit together the entire night. Darcy has to pee, but she can't wait in the long line like the rest of the people. So she decides to go off limits to the restricted section upstairs. She runs into London Banks upstairs. London brings up that she doesn't really care that Darcy is with Asher and that she knew he was into Darcy for a while when she saw them sitting on the swings together. However, she decides her new goal in life is to find out some juicy gossip about Darcy and expose what she's hiding to the world. Honestly, I don't blame her. I do not blame her. Okay? Asher drives Darcy home from the party, and they have an argument because Darcy isn't letting Asher into her life. Darcy goes inside and confesses to her mom that she's been selling her stuff on eBay. Basically, the shit hits the fan this night, okay? The shit hits the fan after the party. She basically, kind of breaks up with Asher a little bit. She goes inside, tells her mom that she's selling her stuff on eBay. Darcy decides a few days later, okay, she's not really talking to Asher. He's giving her space. Her mom's giving her space. Her mom was, kind of strangely okay with her selling stuff on eBay. Okay. Darcy decides a few days later that all the lying and hiding has finally broke her. Okay? And she wants to start living her life outside of books. She just, in a shocking twist, she declares herself a hoarder like her mother. But not a hoarder in the sense of a shopping addict. She's a hoarder of words. This is a very dramatic scene, guys, where she literally says out loud, I am Darcy Wells, and I am a hoarder of words. New IG bio. Holy shit. Darcy decides to let Asher come into her apartment. She's done hiding. And while he's there, her mom comes home and basically freaks out. Asher introduces himself as Darcy's boyfriend and then leaves. He goes, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Darcy's boyfriend. See ya. But the mom's like really mad. With Asher gone, Darcy comes back inside to confront her mom, who is in the middle of a breakdown over buying chunky peanut butter by mistake. She could have sworn she bought creamy. Okay. Holy shit, that was actually a part in the book. Andrea Wells reveals, I gotta stop reading these young adult books. Wells reveals that she was the original owner of the Peter Pan book. Because of course she was. She demands to know, where did she get that book? The two begin to fight over how bad her mother's hoarding has gotten. Okay? And Andrea also reveals that she doesn't hoard to fill the void of Darcy's father leaving. She does it because she herself left Darcy. Here's the real tea, guys. Here is the real tea. Are you ready? Allegedly, shortly after Darcy was born, Andrea Wells fled somewhere for 4 months, leaving Darcy to the care of her grandparents. She even missed her first birthday. She spent the last 18 years regretting her decision every single day and hoarding because of it. Somewhere in all of this mess, Grandma Wells gets called over and the three of them hash things out for the last and final time. Darcy's mom declares she wants to start clearing away some of the hoard, both inside and outside of her mind. The epilogue. The epilogue. 2 months later, Darcy meets up with Asher, who just that morning has finally reached day 8 of no migraines. Okay, no migraines. It's literally that morning. He goes, Darcy, it's day 8. Get your ass over here. We're going flying. They go up in the air, and Darcy asks for a notepad so she can begin writing a letter to her father while they're in the air. So, the end. The end. Okay. How did you finish this book? I had to struggle. Yeah, it was karma. Yeah, karma's real, guys. Karma's real. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, did I miss Asher having sugar? Yeah, you did. Someone called the police and sent this book to jail. It was that bad. It was that bad. A few deep breaths together. Yeah, please pick a decent book next time. I honestly, I thought this book was going to be good. I looked at this, I'm like, yeah, it's a library book, like, cute, right? I'm a reader, she's a reader. Holy shit. We need a moment. Yeah, I think we need a moment. I wish this was a library book I could return. All right, are we ready to go? All right, I'm very excited about this. Thank you guys for joining. I thought we were going to have no one, and it turns out now we have 5 amazing people. So thank you for joining. Appreciate it, guys. All right, so as you know, we had a really, really exciting book this this month. Probably one of our most interesting books, probably one of our, I don't know. It was just really interesting. So thanks for reading it. There was only 5 people, I think, that even read it. And you're all here today. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys first. And I'm going to go one by one, so I'll call on you. What would you rate this book out of 5 stars? Okay? What would you rate this book out of 5 stars? So let's start with Basil Boo's husband. Okay. What would you rate this out of 5 stars?
I would say, I don't know, like 2.5, probably. I only got through the first about 110 pages, but I only started today, so I read those today, and then I heard like the rest on the recap. I didn't think it was the worst thing I've ever read. I thought, like, as a writer, she just kind of got in like up her own ass a lot with like the talking, like when she was talking to herself and like going through literary stuff in her own head, it would just like go on and on and on and on.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, let's do Carmen, let's do you. What did you rate it out of 5? I can come back to you. Oh, 1 second. Okay. All right, I'll come back to you, don't worry about it. All right, so Looney, let's do you. 5 stars. What do you rate it?
This book was a 2-star, I think. It wasn't so bad that I like angrily read through it. I did have to go with an Audible edition of this book despite buying it, so I really I just could not do it. Like they mentioned migraines in the book. Like I really did like feel like I can't look at this. I need to audible it, and then that was a few days ago, and then the thing was tonight. So I'm like putting it on like 1.3 speed so I could get through it.
Jesus Christ! Yeah,
but I'm like, it wasn't like the worst thing ever, but I like really put it off in a way that the other books like were better. So this is the best of the worst of Bad Reads Book Club.
Interesting. Okay, so wait, what did you think was worse than this?
No, I mean this one was probably bad. I mean the first one was more palatable, I think, like easy to digest, the like road trip book.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this one was my least favorite.
Wow. Okay, love it. All right, Dander. I'm afraid to ask. What do you rate it out of 5 stars?
I can't rate it out of 5 stars. I'm just gonna give you a quote from the book.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes you can't see where make-believe ends and truth starts, and sometimes you can, and you cry.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Round of applause, guys. That's beautiful. So, okay. Yeah, I think I get I think I get the point. Yeah. I think I get the point. Kylie's Return to Book Club was the worst rated book. Yeah. He did his homework. He sure did. Okay, Briar. Out of 5 stars. Let's hear it.
I gave it a 2-star as well. Oh, can you hear me?
Yep. Now I can.
Yes, I gave it 2 stars as well, just in case I do ever read anything worse in my life. You know, you've got to save that 1 star spot. Oh, sorry, you can probably see my dog.
Oh, cute.
But I would never have finished it if it wasn't for the book club. Like, it was a bit, I had to force myself to finish it because of all the different storylines that never really went anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 stars from me.
I think you make a good point that you're right. There were a lot of storylines that had the potential to go somewhere maybe and then just fell flat. You know, they just fell flat. So yeah, okay. So wait, what did you say? You said 2? Okay. Yeah. So we're all, I feel like most people has everybody said 2 so far? I think so. Basil Boo's, what was it? You had 2.5?
Yeah, 2.5.
Okay, that was pretty good. Okay. So he kind of liked it. Okay, Carmen. Carmen, what do you rate it? Let's see if we can. Oh, can't do it? Okay. It's all good. Okay. I'm kind of reading your lips. All right. Not going to work? All right. It's all good. Okay.
Can you just put up fingers for how many?
Yeah. What, Carmen, whatever it was, type it in the chat. Okay, Carmen, thanks for trying to join anyway. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next question. So now we know what everybody kind of feels. Okay. Oh, what did I rate it? Of course. We all wanted to know what I rate it. Honest to God, I think that this book was probably somewhere, I would say it's probably a 2. Yeah. I'm going to go with everybody else. I'm going to go with the crowd. I think it was probably a 2. I probably think it deserves probably worse than that, though. I think it really does. Okay. Let's go in the same order. Favorite thing about the book. All right. What did we like? Because there's a lot we did not like. What was the favorite thing about the book? Let's hear it.
I liked her descriptions sometimes when she wasn't describing like something internal, when she was driving like external things. She was okay at that, but anytime she tried to like describe something that was going on in her own head, she completely lost herself. I don't know if that's an editing thing. She needs an editor. I don't know, but I also gave it 2.5 because might have lower standards. I've read a lot of like those self-published books on Kindle and such, and this was at least like readable.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I kind of honestly, I mean, you only read, what did you say, like 100 and something pages?
About 110 pages, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I kind of liked the first half of it because I was like, oh, it's gonna be interesting. This hoarder storyline's gonna go somewhere. I liked the bookstore setting or whatever. That's why I picked it, and then it went off the rails. So yeah, I kind of agree with you. The way she was describing things, it was almost really dramatic too. I don't know if you felt that way, but it was like someone who was trying to be like an intellectual. I don't know. So, okay, I agree with that. All right, Becky, what do you think? What was your favorite thing?
I think maybe the friendship with Marisol and Darcy. I think it was kind of wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like the birthday story actually seemed like something that could have happened. I mean, it's really extra with like Marisol's family providing all those cupcakes, but I mean, like it's cute, and like with the fight, like I think it was done well. Everything in this book is like really fast forward. Like I was surprised the epilogue is 2 months later. Like you don't want to like give it some time. So like the fight was like resolved quickly, but I guess I was happy about that because I liked the friendship between them.
Yeah, I think that was a highlight for sure. I think Marisol was probably a highlight. She seemed like a good friend, but we will get into the friendship a little bit more in some of the next pages because I think that there were some moments that maybe I didn't even touch on in the summary of this that were maybe a little bit, for the people that did read it, you're like, maybe she wasn't the best friend. I don't know. Okay, Dander, what was your favorite thing about the book?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, let me find the right the Google Doc. My favorite thing about the book was reading about these characters, their lives, discovering their issues, their friendships and their relationships, their school life and internal struggles, and the description of the Mexican-Cuban food.
Oh yeah, so you bring up a good point about the food. The food. So there was a lot of scenes that I didn't really talk about, but there was a lot of scenes where they go to Marisol's house, and I honestly should have said it because Marisol had like a big family because she was like half Cuban, half Mexican or whatever, but she had this big family, and anytime that Darcy would go over there, her mom would make like a ton of food, and it was described really well. It like sounded really good. And then it was interesting because she kind of was getting like all this love from Marisol's family, and not really a lot at her own house. But yeah, it was nice to see that she was like, I don't know, had a good family. So that's a good point. Okay, Briar, favorite thing?
Probably just Marisol as the character. Like she had German Shepherd, I have a German Shepherd, so I loved the representation personally. But yeah, I think she was a really, like, I don't know if they meant it, but I liked Marisol so much better than Darcy, and I'm not sure if that was the author's intention, but I felt that she was a really great character and a really great friend. especially like considering that's meant to be 17.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot, especially in books that are maybe not well written, because I feel like a lot of authors like to either start it like I don't know why, and maybe you guys can try like chime in if you feel this way. I feel like in a lot of books, the main character is like not a great friend, and or like they're always just so self-involved and they can't even see outside of their own life to like see that their friends are going through something or their friends are doing this or that or like they're just like tunnel visioned on their own problems. And I feel like if it's a good writer, they can write about, okay, this is how they were in the beginning, but then they had like a metamorphosis or look at the little cat. They have like, they have like they change or they become better, they improve and they become a better friend and I feel like they tried to do that at the end of the book, but she never was. Like it was so annoying. So yeah, I know that was your favorite thing, but I kind of turned it into like a not so great thing, unfortunately.
Have a pure favorite thing that wasn't also a negative, I feel like.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, really good point. I feel like, yeah, because I'm going to say that too. I feel like my favorite thing about the book was there was a lot of dialogue, at least. I don't know if you guys kind of noticed that also. Like sometimes you'll see a book and it's all like inner monologue, or you'll read a book, but there was a lot of dialogue. It was just that the dialogue was not interesting. It was not like there was no real romance in this book. And it was really like the romance was lackluster, the relationships were lackluster. The things that they were actually saying to each other didn't really pack up a big punch, but that was my favorite was there was just a lot of dialogue. So between the characters. So I don't know. Okay. All right, let's go to least favorite thing about the book and what would you change?
I guess they didn't feel their age. They didn't feel like high school seniors. Like half the time they talked to each other like they were in middle school, and then half the time they talked like they were like young 20s, but they never really felt like high school seniors to me. I don't know. It felt really, I don't know, just uneven. Like whenever like any of the characters, none of them seemed like to act their age all the time. It just never. She wasn't able to hone in on that.
Mm-hmm. I think a good example of that is, well, I mean, obviously there's like, those storyline where like the kid's acting like the adult, and I don't think that's what you're referring to. There's literally like a time at the end where Marisol, do you remember that? Well, I don't think you read the end, but there's a time at the end, which is so funny, where Marisol is basically like having this long talk because Darcy's having like a moment where she's realizing that she's a hoarder of words and she's like, I live my life inside books, it's time to live my life outside of books and like experience a real relationship. And Marisol goes on the longest, like you would think this is like an 80-year-old person that has infinite wisdom talking to her, and you're like, this is a 17-year-old in high school. Like there's no way she knows any of this, and there's also no way that they know half these words that they're using. I mean, maybe Darcy does, but like I don't know, it was just, yeah, it was bad. Okay, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. Okay, Becky, what was your least favorite thing and what would you change? You're opening it up?
There's like little like quotes at the tops of all the chapters.
Yeah.
So at first, I mean, it kind of made sense like with the plot later because of the Peter Pan mystery scribbler. Like the quotes like show what the quote from Peter Pan and then what the scribbler wrote. So like it was part of the plot, I guess. So like I liked that. But yeah, hearing the discussion so far made me think about how I really didn't like the hoarder of words. Like it felt like we're trying to force this theme.
Yeah.
But like we said, like Marisol was kind of a plus, and I liked there was this like moment where Darcy realizes Marisol's family hoards love or something, or like they cook a lot of food, and I kind of liked that, but it's still like it's like really awkward. But yeah, I think that the main thing that I would change is probably the timing of the book. Like the pacing doesn't feel right.
No.
So an editor would help maybe.
Did you feel like it was too long? Did anyone else feel like it just dragged?
Yeah.
Like I think it should have ended at like the play or something like that. And it kept going and going and going.
Yeah, could have been a short story.
It could have been a very short story. Oh, you know what I wanted to mention when you brought up I want to ask the group this question, but did you guys feel like those quotes that you remember? I mean, you just mentioned it, but the quotes where she was doing like the Peter Pan's mystery scribbler, did you feel like that really gave her any insight or like, I didn't understand the scribbles or the anecdotes. I didn't understand the poems, and I felt like it did not add to the story. How do you feel? Yes or no?
I think it either needed to
Theory about this, to be honest.
Go ahead.
You go ahead, please. No.
I think it needed to either be more or less. Like they gave us like right down the middle, so you didn't get anything from it. If they would have given us like more insight into the scribbles and like maybe connected it somewhere, that would have been better. Or just like maybe little tiny hints, like just saying, "Oh, I'm reading and these scribbles are so," instead of like they just give us enough that it didn't help.
Yeah. Dander, what were you gonna say?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's actually really good.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, I don't feel like it gave us nothing. Oh, you remember?
I do remember. Yes. It was actually like an out of the way for her mom to actually kind of raise her.
Yes,
a
you're
bit.
right. You're right. It was. But I almost
mean,
was
in
like,
a
what
very
did she get
corny,
though?
stupid ass way. I never expected her mom to be the writer. I thought it was Ashton at the time because I was like, there's got to be more to this fucking character than what's here. Sorry for my language. But yeah, that's what I tried to dig deep for was like maybe that's her way of her mom being there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're right. No, you're right. And I think that was, but I almost wish like that it made more sense. Maybe I need to read Peter Pan to understand. Like, I don't know. Did anybody here read Peter Pan too or no? Okay, because I was utterly lost. Okay. Oh my God, how many dogs are there? So cute. So cute. I love all these animals making appearances. Okay, Briar, what was your least favorite thing about the book?
Well, I didn't even read the scribbles or the things at the top because I hated them.
Yeah, I do too.
So I don't even really know what happened with that. I probably missed a lot of plot, to be honest, with the Peter Pan book. Oh yeah, but my least favorite thing was there was just too much. It was too much happening, too many stories that didn't go anywhere, and it was just like I literally didn't know what was going to happen, not because it was written well, but because every chapter was like a new thing, and it was just a bit much.
Yeah, it didn't flow well. I feel like with the last book, did you guys read the last book club book? Yeah.
I read The Bodyguard that we never book clubbed.
Hey, don't bring that up.
That was actually good bad. Like I enjoyed that. This one was not like that.
hey, don't bring that up because I totally
the book we never
that.
speak of.
I know. I will get to that book eventually, but if you guys read the Lake House book, whatever it was, the Lake book, I feel like that one was a good one because it was kind of like at the end of the chapter, you were looking forward to what was going to happen next, or like this one, it just skipped around. It was so bad. I hate to rag on it.
One, the summer of bad things I did or whatever.
Yes. Wait. Yes, every summer after.
No.
Oh.
Where they're
I know what you're talking about.
Whatever. Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember.
Not that one.
So I'm wondering if that's the only one I've read.
I think that was, yeah. Okay, my least favorite thing about the book, I actually didn't even think about what my answer would be. There was so many things to choose from that were really bad about this book. I think my least favorite thing was actually the romance element. I look forward to the romance element of the book, And this was so bad. And not only that, but I could never get on fully onto like the Asher thing. I could not buy into him because the way he was behaving was so inappropriate while he had a girlfriend that I felt like it tainted the relationship, which we'll get into. But I don't like that. I do not want, like, when I read a book, I mean, everybody here probably knows that I like Pride and Prejudice. But what I like about Pride and Prejudice is that there's always, he only sees one girl, okay? It's only one girl for him. He's not messing around with other people. So it was gross. It was really gross. And we'll talk about more of that because there was more that I didn't even touch on. So that's what I would change. Just the romance, there was nothing. I mean, bump it up a little bit. There was one scene where they got kind of close in the alleyway, and that was it. Okay, this is a juicy question. Do you think Darcy is a good friend? Okay, why or why not?
I mean, I don't know. I think she is a good friend, probably not during the book. From the way Marisol talks about it, I think during this section of time, like, she was so much in her own shit that she really couldn't be a good friend just because she had too much going on. But it sounds like before that, she was what Marisol needed, to escape the craziness of her family when she needed to, some quiet and some solitude and somebody to talk to that isn't family. But in the book itself, she was just like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Becky, what do you think? Good friend, bad friend?
Yeah, I agree with that. Obviously Marisol is a textbook good friend. She helps out a lot. Turns out the author is a Cuban American Californian, so that makes sense that she wrote Marisol to be the best person. But yeah, back we see Darcy like take a lot, and Marisol's family all like give a lot to Darcy. But because I liked the friendship, I think something must have shown through, like that these two had a bond. But I can't really think of an example. Well, I mean, here's an example of Darcy being a good friend. She gets Marisol's jacket that she left at Tops, the wig shop. Yes. But then she like runs off with it and like does the sneaky thing in the alley with Asher and like has to take off the jacket because it's bright red leather and like hide it, and like it probably got like ruined.
Yeah, it was like shoved up against the wall or something outside.
Yep. Just, sort of a good friend. And like Marisol brings coffee to Darcy
every day in her purse. She has it like basically loose in her purse. That was another weird.
That was like that. Yeah, those words painted a picture, and I did not want to see that coffee coming out of the tote bag.
God, I can't do it anymore. That was funny. So I was gonna say something about what you just said, but say the first thing again that you said, if you can remember, because now I just lost my train of thought.
So the author's Cuban American.
Oh, sorry. Stop there. That's what it was. That's a really good point. Yeah. Stop. That is a good point. And I feel like you cracked the code because she wrote Marisol to be the best most likable character. And then Darcy was like, I think that it all makes sense now. It just all makes sense because I did feel like you guys made some good points. She wasn't like the worst friend in the world, but she definitely like, she didn't even realize that Marisol like had a crush on Jace. You remember that part? And it was like, how do you not know? Like, this is what I'm saying. It's like, you don't see outside. All you see is your own life. Like, you're so involved in your own life. I mean, she is 17 or 18 or whatever, but I don't know. She wasn't doing a whole lot of nice things for Marisol. I don't know. All right. Just the coffee and the picking up the jacket. Okay. Dander, what do you think? Do you think that Darcy was a good friend?
Well, now I'm wondering if this is just a huge trauma dump on some issue that the author had with a friend
Yeah.
of hers. I mean, I have a few books I could write. I'm telling you. But I guess it makes it slicker if you're not the main character. But I don't think she was a bad friend. I think she was a shitty person.
Yeah, I think you're right. I just
She's
don't.
bad.
She didn't have depth.
I mean, no, and
Oh, you
yeah,
think
I
she did?
think one of the things I was trying to make last point too that you guys have made is like Ashton was just like cardboard, seriously. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think she's not a bad friend, but it was weird at the end too. It caught me when she was like, "Mom, I can't have anyone over to the house like Jace." I was like, "When did you ever care about Jace? You know, like you never mentioned him until like you had to kiss it. Like he's not your friend. Where is this coming from? I
Right.
can't even have London over. Like why?
Yeah.
What?
You hate
Okay,
London.
whatever. I digress.
I can't have Bryn. I've never had a sleepover with Bryn.
I know.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are
Crazy?
you talking about? Anyways.
Yeah, that's a good point too. That was at the end that I didn't touch on that at the end, but it was pretty funny.
It bothered me. Yeah.
Okay. Briar. Do you think she was a good friend? Yes or no?
I don't know. I guess I thought about her in the context of being like a high school friend, and I think like if she was my friend today, that wouldn't be a good friend. But I think as a 17-year-old, like her behavior is not that abnormal. But yeah, she definitely looked like the worst friend in the friendship out of her and Marisol for sure.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. And you know, yeah, she's 18, 17, 18, and in her defense, she does kind of have a lot of problems. Like she doesn't have a dad. Her dad's in Thailand. Like she's got a hoarder mother. Nobody can come over to her house. She's not really probably formed real relationships. Yeah. So yeah, okay, maybe I'll take it easy on her. But I kind of wrote this question thinking everybody was gonna be like, she was the worst friend ever. I'll be honest. Okay. I did not have good intentions for that question. Okay. This is a juicy question in my opinion. Do you think that Darcy was an enabler for her mother's hoarding, or do you think it was her mother's problem alone?
I don't know, because the way the author framed it was that these are the things the therapist told her that she has to do. And if she doesn't do this, it's going to make it way, way worse. So if you don't follow these very specific instructions and not push your mom, everything's going to go even worse. And so I think she was enabling her by doing exactly what the therapist said. But I don't think she really had a choice, like plot-wise.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And I forgot to say this. I forgot to mention this, but at the end of the book, so basically they lay it out. The author lays it out like this, because I told you they went to counseling before the book started, and apparently the therapist said your mom is never going to get better until she acknowledges the real reason behind her hoarding. And it turns out that when her mom said that she's hoarding because she's upset about the loss of like her father, like because her dad ran away, because she never came out with the real reason, that's why she never improved. Okay, because the real reason is because she left Darcy when she was a baby, so that's why it never improved. I don't think it's really that cut and dry probably with hoarding. Like once you finally admit it, then you're like you're free from the chains. Yeah. Hey guys, no longer a hoarder. I came clean. Like that's not probably how it works, but yeah, you're right. I think that there's probably not a lot Darcy could probably do. But Becky, what do you think? Do you think she was an enabler?
I wouldn't say she's an enabler because it seemed like she had good intentions to try and help. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know if you're supposed to like follow the she tried following a therapist's instructions, which is good, but there was no improvement. And like, do we blame that all on the mom not finding the real reason? I mean, it's good that Darcy stood her ground with the boundary of you can't hoard in Darcy's bedroom.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wouldn't say she was an enabler, but maybe there were things she could have done. But I mean, she's 18 years old. I think she did her
Right.
best, maybe with the hoarding.
Right. Yeah. Dander, what do you think? Enabler? Be honest.
Who, Darcy?
Yeah.
To her mom?
Yeah.
I think she's an enabler to herself. I don't think she was to her mom. I think she was very critical of her mom, and I don't know. I would be very critical. I mean, I did someone that had hoarder parents, and they had like dead animals and shit in their house. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
I don't
So
think she was. No.
yeah, I think most people are kind of saying no. Briar, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree as well. I think it might be the next question where we talk about the grandma, and I think maybe you can be more critical of her than of the Darcy as the 17-year-old daughter or 18-year-old daughter.
Yeah. Well,
But
let's talk. Let's. How about you answer that then? Let's move on to that. So, what do you think about Grandma Wells? Did she handle the situation correctly? What could she have done differently? What do you think?
she was just so confusing, and I think it's because she like was not in the book for so long, and then she'd like pop back in. It sounds like she wanted to do the right thing, but then she was just like, no, I give up. And then was like, and not only I give up, but I'm gonna make it your problem, your mom, your problem.
Yeah. That was weird. And like, what was the reason? Do you guys remember what the reason was why she didn't keep in touch, or like why they severed that relationship? Do you remember?
I think it was like 4 years ago when they stopped going to therapy, and when the mom stopped going to therapy, her mom like decided, well, she's not trying, I'm not going to try, and she just kind of like dropped it.
Oh yeah.
See, that's the only thing you'd remember if you only read 100 pages of the book.
Yeah. No, you're right. You are right. So okay, yeah, that was weird. So well, I mean, I guess I kind of understand it, because I did feel myself feeling frustrated with the hoarding, and I mean, it's probably frustrating to live with that when she's not paying bills, but she's buying Crate and Barrel, the new coasters that are on clearance or whatever it was. I mean, I totally related to that part. I have to say, but
question kept the book. I was like, why is she stealing and selling again? Like, I don't remember why.
I know. But okay, Basil Boo, what do you think? Like, what did you think about the grandma?
This is like, so they said we stopped doing therapy 4 years ago. That means the girl was 13 when they stopped going to therapy, and the grandma just put it on a 13-year-old to now take care of her daughter. It's like, that's pretty messed up. It's like, oh, I'll pay. I'll just like send some checks. That'll be fine, right? This is a 13-year-old girl. You're expecting to take care of an adult, and you have money. You should be doing more than this. It's like, oh, I'm just fed up with it. It's like, it doesn't matter. You're a parent. Come on.
Wow. You had receipts. I actually didn't even do the math on that one. I didn't realize how old she was. Wow. Yeah, she gave up. She gave up for sure. And I don't know if it's like, maybe she's had a lifetime of Andrea like kind of acting badly or something like that. Is it ever appropriate to leave it on a 13-year-old who had already previously been abandoned, and maybe not, her mom maybe can't even be trusted to be a stable person in her life? I mean, I don't know. But and then when she threatened to take away the checks, I thought that was also a little bit like, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, she was like, you have to grow up. It's like, what? Seriously? You're telling me this? All right, cool.
You must grow up. Yeah, that was crazy. Grandma Wells is actually fucking crazy. Looney, what do you think about Grandma Wells?
Yeah, anytime someone like has a speculation for a gift, like I think that's a red flag. So if she's like, oh, I want to like give you some money for like college, but only if you do this, like what are you giving?
Oh yeah, like an ultimatum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't handle the situation correctly. there's mentions of child protective
Yeah.
services, but like they were just hoping they wouldn't show up. I don't know. It sounds like the home was in such bad condition that like if they did show up, like Darcy would be taken away, and like I can understand like if like CPS, I don't know, like missed this, like maybe it got bad and like Darcy's 17 and it's like, well, she's almost an adult, but I wondered a lot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone should help with the situation. Like there is a grandma in the picture, like she should help and not just send money. And then I think that and the eBay selling was like because the apartment building is getting new management and they want to fix stuff. They would have to enter the apartment, and Darcy normally like had Marisol's brother fix things, and he's moving away, so Darcy's like, oh, I'm gonna have to pay someone to be our handyman because like I can't tell the apartment building about it. Yeah. So like this was like a really tightly kept secret that the apartment is so bad, except the grandma knows and like couldn't do anything.
Right. Yeah, that was weird. Basil, what were you gonna say?
I thought the money, from what it sounded like, they're afraid they're going to get evicted in 6 months when the lease comes up, and so they needed to get like a backlog of money in order to find a new place to live. Though they didn't make that clear. Did like, we're going to get evicted in 6 months. We need money. It's like, okay, what do you need the money for? Are you going to try to fix the apartment so it looks nice? Is that what you need the money for? Or do you, when you're going to get evicted, do you need to find another place, pay off bills so you can actually get another apartment? Because with all her credit, she's probably not going to be able to rent anywhere with these massive credit card run-ups everywhere. So I they didn't really. It was like, what do we need the money for?
Exactly. Well, yeah, like maybe bills. What I think she was saying that her mom didn't pay bills. Is that what she was using it for, or no? I don't even know. I really don't. It was kind of weird. You're right. Dander, what do you think about Grammy Wells?
I think she's that bitch. I liked her.
Okay.
When I grew up, so I didn't even play about it. But bringing up the CPS stuff, I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. You're a month away from turning 18. How fast do you think the government works? Seriously.
No. Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
And then like a third of the way through the book, it's resolved anyways. Like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that's an insight into like how 17-year-olds think, though. Maybe I don't know, but
no.
Yeah, I thought she was that bitch, and I thought the wig shop lady was that bitch too.
You're right. No, that's a good point right there. That's a really good point. Briar, what did you think of Granny Wells? Oh wait, I asked you this already, didn't I? That's right.
I think cool if we had more of her as in the story.
Yeah.
Instead of, but I think also her money, she was giving Darcy money, and then she was using that money for the bills, and then she's saying, I'm not giving you that money. So I think that's also was part of the thing.
Was that money from her dad?
Well, and then the grandma was the master liar about the whole situation to everybody in the first place too. So, I am that bitch too. So I stand behind what I said.
I'm surprised that nobody brought that up till now. So I thought it was really, really kind of messed up that she never told her own daughter that basically he wanted a relationship or something, allegedly, with Darcy. The father, like, she's all like upset about this. Like, it pretty much threw her life into a tailspin is what it seemed like. And the grandma like kept it from her, but she kept a good relationship with this guy who is in a toxic relationship. It almost felt like she took his side. I don't know. I thought that was really sort of convoluted. I don't know if you guys
she was
agree.
Like, you don't like my daughter? Yeah, I don't like her either.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, exactly. Okay, this is an interesting question. What was the biggest WTF moment? Like, what to you? Because there was a lot to choose from. What do you like? What was the biggest? Huh?
I mean, it's got to be I left my shadow, right?
On Delmar Heights Road. Yeah. It's still there. It's still there. That was so bad. That was so bad. Looney, what was that moment for you?
I hoarded words. So bad. I'm like, it's not the same thing. Like,
Not
I
even
know, like,
close.
to read, but yeah, this does not mean hoarding.
Yeah, exactly. Dander.
When she starts putting the like orange bubble gum in her mouth, and then she puts 3 pieces of peppermint in her mouth, and then she puts watermelon in her mouth because I was like, what the fuck does that taste? That was my WTF.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
God,
welcome back.
that damn bubblegum from Marisol.
And then she said something after, like, where it said it in the text, like, she couldn't go for it because her mouth was so full of gum.
Yeah.
It was so stupid.
How
And
about-
then the
yeah.
bracelet gum
Oh,
stuff.
yes.
Don't even get me started.
How
on
about
that.
when Marisol would put the gum on her bracelet and like what's her name was like embarrassed by it though. Darcy was. Do you remember that? She's like, oh, I'm
You should be
praying
embarrassed.
that she's not gonna do this. In front of the guys for the birthday party. Oh my god, so weird. Okay, Briar.
I mean, to me, it was a party where they're making her say, or the definition for the words. Like, I just was like, in what world would this ever happen at a high school party? Like, I wasn't cool in high school, so maybe I don't know, but
No.
like, it was just so bizarre. And then the way that the hermit word really shook her and just made her
You never played that game in high school? God, you guys.
Yeah. Well, I can say this.
No,
I
no.
was popular and I was cool and we never played that. No, I'm kidding.
My job is laughing at you.
Like the fact that she was holding back tears, like she found the one word in the English dictionary that hit me the hardest. Like, shut up! Like, this is the worst party ever. I don't know. I feel like I want to just choose all of yours because I honestly, to me, the part where I was like, when she started, like, I didn't understand when she was telling that story to the little girl at the legal. I didn't understand that, like, why she felt so inclined to do that. And obviously it was just a literary device to like, or like a plot device, or, you know, to try to get this girl in there and then have this big scene where they're making out in the alley. Like that whole storyline to me was like, what the fuck?
Did any of you have to start that over to see if you like forgot what you were reading? Because I did, and I had to like go all the way back and be like, what happened?
Yeah.
And then it didn't make sense anyway, so I was like, what the hell?
Yes. Honestly, I did too.
It just like as the secretary there, it's like there's like, oh, who's that little girl? It's like, that's Olivia. It's like, can I go talk to her? No. Why are you being weird? Go away.
That's Olivia. Like, what? That didn't make any sense. Like, that was such bad. That was lazy. The whole thing was lazy. Okay. I'm gonna skip this question because it's really stupid. The one I wrote about Darcy starting a relationship with Asher. Okay, I want to ask you guys this: did Asher I thought I read that wrong. Did Asher have any red flags, and did he overstep, in your opinion, any boundaries while having a girlfriend?
I mean, yeah. he was really blatantly hitting on another girl while he had a girlfriend. It's like, I think like the author tried to like just wash away. It's like, oh, they're off and on, you know. It's like, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's like, well, it still kind of matters, you know. He's still creepy as hell.
Well, they're on. Yeah.
But it, like, I don't know. Like the red flags would have been him mentioning like his accident every like 5 seconds. It's like, well, I have active trauma. It's like, I just wanted you to know this right up front. I'm going to be talking about this every single time we talk. It's like, well, maybe we should like put a pause in this. You know, you go to therapy, then we can come back to a relationship.
Great point. Great point right there. I feel like you're right. She tried to make it okay, and none of it felt okay. She tried though. She really tried in a couple different ways, but it did not. It felt gross. Becky, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, come to think, like Asher just doesn't seem he's not real. I mean, and like I had high hopes for this book because like it starts off with like mentioning the fact that there's manic pixie dream girls and bad boys, and those are like literary tropes. And then like she does this,
Yeah.
like Darcy, like I mean, like the way she can just tell stories from her mind, like she has a photographic memory, but she doesn't. Like
Yeah.
it's just magic. But like she's tall, and like they describe Darcy's long legs, and I'm like can't relate. Like stop showing off.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that to prove she's not like a pixie
Yes.
dream girl?
Mhm.
But like I mean, so like Asher, he just still like had like the like bad boy vibes, I guess, probably just because like he was like handy, like he could do
Yeah.
construction jobs and stuff. So I'm like, well, he's not like a realistic like love interest. I mean, are they ever? But
No.
like the like girlfriend thing was, yeah, it wasn't satisfying. Like I know you want an obstacle for why like these two can't
Yeah.
get together right away, but yeah, like I wasn't happy with this solution. It wasn't cool. Like I don't get why he was so attracted to Darcy like while having a girlfriend. Like their connection was just so magical, I guess. It just, yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
work for me.
Slumber Party had a good point. She said every time Darcy was like, maybe he's acting this way because of the head trauma. It's so true. The whole time she was like, oh my, it was over the top where she's like feeling bad for him. She's like, I cannot believe you've been through this. Like, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't give him license to go do what he did, in my opinion. But okay, Dander, any red flags, and did he overstep any boundaries?
Well, I mean, everyone in this book had a mental illness.
Yeah.
You know the way I usually go is I blame the men for every. Well, it's an author thing. It seems like the books we're reading are always like females that are willing to give men all the power. And in this case, I felt like he was the only one that had an excuse for his mental illness, whereas everyone else didn't, and that made him like a good person or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't remember what the question was, but I was just gonna take it off.
It was kind of weird too. But what you're talking about, I feel like was another thing that I was kind of confused about because he was like, yeah, well, London and she was there for me when I was. Remember this part? The part where she's like, she was there for me when I was recovering, but
when he was buying her the gift, he was saying, "Oh, just a month ago when I was in the hospital, she threw a surprise party for me in the hospital and got me a bunch of shit. She was really there for me." It's like, well, I just abandoned her, you know?
Yeah. Sounded
Yeah,
like
what'd
she
she
actually
do
was there
wrong?
for him. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, she sounded like a pretty decent person besides the fact that O-Girl didn't like her. I mean, I didn't have a problem with London, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was like this book, like everyone has mental illness in it. The grandma has it, the mom has it, Darcy has it. Marisol's probably the only one that doesn't have it.
Yeah.
And his was interestingly the only one that was actually physical. And then I did a little digging on PCS, and that shit doesn't usually last over a year. So I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I mean, granted, and I only have a degree in psychology. That's all. No, I looked it up on the website. But I mean, like, it's sus to me. I mean,
It was, yeah.
it's a little sus.
I felt like that was weird.
Maybe a little gaslighting's going on. I don't know.
Good point. Briar, any red flags? Any overstepping of some boundaries here? Uh-oh.
He's just a red flag. I couldn't deal with him. And it was just like, it was just so weird how long it took for him to end it with London. Like the whole time he's like saying that it's not right. And yeah, I agree with Danda. Like I actually didn't have an issue with girly pop London, except for maybe when she got drunk at the party, but that's pretty standard teenage behavior.
Right.
But yeah, I think they really tried to make us hate London and think that that would just make it okay. And then I wrote this down because I finished it last night, and he was saying like, is it too much that when I get migraines, I'm gonna be like in a bad mood and like say mean things or something like that, like saying that was his baggage, and I was like, what? It was just like, even after all of that, like, it was weird. Oh, I don't know.
I think it was a little bit of hypochondria, like a little. It was a lot. This kind of builds off the last question, but would you be personally, and this is maybe a personal question, but would you be okay with your significant other doing what Asher did? Now, the things I'm referring to, going to like meet up with some girl at a bookstore every day. He's spending all of his lunch breaks with this girl. He's making out pretend in an alleyway. He's taking her to dinners. He's sitting on the swings. He's texting her. He's offering to fix things at her house. Would this be okay with you?
No, obviously not. I mean,
okay.
No.
I just want to know.
That's a lot of time that you're spending with somebody who's not your significant other.
Yeah. I was a little surprised.
She was very flippant about it at the end. She's like, I don't even care. Whatever, have him.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I kind of didn't blame her, but I just felt like that. These are loaded questions. I mean, yeah, they were. I just kind of wanted to bring up the fact that he was doing that and how inappropriate it felt. It felt like that's what I'm talking about. Where it's like this guy's overstepping boundaries. This guy's like basically he's having an emotional affair. I mean, that's what made it so icky. I'm like, I would not be okay with my significant other going and hanging out at a bookstore with a girl every day, taking her to the birthday party, special birthday party after she gets done performing, eating a cupcake for this girl, but he won't eat a cupcake for her. That was messed up. Okay, so I think we can move past that question. I mean, I think we get it. Okay. Okay, how would you have reacted if you were Marisol and you found out your best friend told a guy that you didn't really know something like that instead of you? I don't know. Not really a great question.
I don't know. I think I would be like a little like put out. It's like, cause that's your person that you tell your stuff to. That's like your number one. I think I would want more information from her. Be like, why did you do this? Why didn't you think you could bring this to me? Why did you bring it to him? And then she could have explained like, I'm going through all this stuff and he was there and it felt like a different perspective or something. She could have explained it. But like initially I would be really confused. I'm like, why are you talking to this guy about this? Doesn't he have a girl? What's going on with this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Becky, what about you?
Yeah, definitely in high school, if I were Marisol, I would be really sensitive. Like, it would seem like Darcy's the type of girl who gets a boyfriend and then only hangs out with him, except he's not even her boyfriend and he's taken by someone else. So, but like, looking back now, like, well, as an adult, I'm like, I would have to be like, this is a Darcy thing. It's not about me. And like having a father come into the picture after 18 years, like, is a crazy thing. But yes, I would think about why it's like, yeah, it's just like she formed like this rushed relationship with Asher. I think that's really what happened and why he told her. But yeah, it would still hurt. Like they're besties, so it would hurt, even though it's not like Marisol's fault.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's evidence of her maybe being a bad friend? Or like, I mean, this is why I'm asking that, because I could easily see her being one of those people that like she drops her friends when she gets with like, because she kind of did that at the end, by the way. she's hanging with Marisol, and then he calls her. He's like, "It's day 8 of no migraines. Let's go." And
Yeah,
she leaves
it's
her.
a little bit like that where Darcy's probably someone who would put her boyfriend first. Yeah, this was probably like the start of that. But maybe she would find a balance. But yeah, it doesn't look good.
Yeah. Dander, would that be okay with you?
I don't know. I don't have friends.
Okay. Moving on. Briar. I mean, I think most people are answering the same way, but like, would it be fine with you? Would you be upset? Would you move on kind of quick?
Well, I would be upset, but I don't think I wouldn't get over it. But like, I mean, it's just like one of many things that she really does to Marisol. Like and like, yeah, like I don't know. I don't know if it was pretty bad, but I don't know. That wasn't the thing that I thought was the worst thing that she did.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
It was just whatever, probably, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was just. I mean, I wasn't even shocked. It just made sense, I guess. And her,
I
she
think
was
it was
just
just
behaving like that the whole book.
Yeah, I think it was just probably another way of like creating conflict, but it really wasn't. Like once again, it kind of fell short with okay, this is like okay. I mean, I feel like there were things that she should have made a bigger deal about, but she didn't. Like her grandma doing things, her dad's letter, like I don't know. So anyway, okay, that was maybe not my best question.
Hey, can you clarify what that was? Like, I think I was confused about the question.
Oh, what I was talking about is when Marisol found out that Darcy had told Asher that she got a letter from her father, but she.
No, I wasn't confused. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Okay, so moving on. What is your opinion of Darcy and her mother's relationship? Like, just give me your thoughts on how you felt about it. Did you feel it was like strong, weird, like just basic thoughts about it?
I don't know. It was like really weird, and I don't know. It was like almost like a cold war because Darcy had so much she couldn't say, like so many things that a normal person you would say to. It's like, hey, these are problems in the house, you know, about bills, about money, about me moving out to college. What are we going to do then? Oh, she couldn't even tell her that in 6 months we're probably going to get evicted because she was worried. So their relationship was so just fragile at all times that you never felt like they could actually talk to each other.
Yep. That's actually such a great point that I totally forgot about. Because you're right. She couldn't even say things like, "Hey, you know, we need to get this fixed. Like, maybe can you handle this or something? Like, maybe can you buy us a, like a, I don't know. I thought that was really weird. You're right. There was a lot of off limits. There was a lot of walking on eggshells, literally and figuratively, I'm sure. But yeah, you're right. It kind of, to me, it fell flat, their relationship. I'll be honest. I didn't feel like it was, even when she saw her at the play and came to the play and did her makeup. I thought it was going to be like this amazing bonding moment where they would share something back and forth. And then she just literally did her makeup and goes, all right, break a leg. Get out there. Like, it was like, okay, yeah, get out there. And then she did. And then it was over. So, Becky, what did you think about their relationship?
Yeah, it felt absent to me when they talk about how the like property manager wants to come into the apartment and Darcy's like, well, she's sleeping. It seemed like that happened a few times. She's sleeping. I don't think that was a lie. It seemed like, well, I don't know what. I guess I imagine the mom was up all night online shopping or something, and that's why she had to sleep during the day. But like they said, the excuse was like she worked late.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the point was she wasn't around and awake a lot for Darcy and to have a relationship. So like the makeup thing like just surprised me. And it's like, yeah, that could have been a big moment in their relationship. It seemed like it was out of the ordinary, but yeah, that was it.
Yeah, fell so flat. Dander, what did you think about their relationship?
First of all, I just want to show you my beautiful galaxy light.
I noticed that, and I was gonna say that it looks great.
5 stars.
Yeah.
And I feel like we didn't get a good like get to explore their relationship at all, because like her mom was just the enemy from the beginning. Period.
Yep.
You didn't like we got to hear a few like empathetic things about her, I guess, but she was the enemy from the beginning until she found the book with all the blah blah blah. So I guess like that was supposed to be her mom's redeeming arc in the
Yeah.
book.
And it
Honestly, I didn't see that coming. To be honest, I didn't, and
I didn't either.
I didn't see. All I saw was an angry teenager
Well,
that wasn't able to empathize with her mom at all, and so decided to steal her money.
it kind of felt like the fact that it was her mom after all, it almost seems so out of like it just how is this her mom? Like she finds her mom's book, like it's just too cliche almost. Like
And it's like, why do you even care about her? It's like she wanted to be there so bad,
yeah,
but she doesn't have a single nice thing to say about her. So I
yeah,
don't know.
you're right, and I think your word choice is perfect. She was the enemy. You're right of the book starting. Like she just didn't have a lot of redeeming characteristics at all. Briar, thoughts on the relationship mom and daughter?
Yeah, no, I agree with everyone really. And just like, yeah, I think like could we have gotten rid of that weird parts about the lawyer's office and replace it with some like development with their relationship? Like, I don't know, like I feel like that could have been a good storyline to explore, but we didn't, and it was just really like a not good relationship the whole time. Basically, didn't really even feel like they had one. Like
Yeah.
she would say they were like ship passing or something to that effect, and
Mhm.
like I get that she's nearly 18, but she seems super unfazed that her daughter's just out all the time, and
Yeah.
you know, bills and all that stuff. Like it was just bizarre, and yeah.
You know what's another part that makes me think of something else? The fact that her mom forgot the cupcakes for the birthday.
Ugh.
I don't like there was no redemption arc really for that. I don't
Yeah.
know. You know
Yeah,
what
that
I
was
mean?
yeah.
And it was just another thing like her mom failed again.
Yeah, she had so many chances to try, and maybe the makeup thing was her trying, but yeah, and it's with like the big reveal later, like she never seemed to want to redeem herself or
Mhm.
make it amends or work on the relationship even.
Yeah, and you know what is another? I totally I love what you said because I feel like you're right. If we could switch out some scenes of just like that didn't make any sense. Like how about them jumping in the wedding dresses on the trampoline at
Yeah.
Marisol's house? Can we take that part out maybe? Like what the fuck? Why do we need to know that? Just please, can we put some like scenes in where we're getting to know characters, we're having character development, not this stupid like this is stupid. So you're right. There was a lot of stuff I wish that they had spared us in favor of, plot development. Okay. So what would you do if your dad reached out to you? He moved to Thailand. You haven't heard anything from him. What would you do? What would be your response? Would you send back a letter? If so, what would you say? Or would you just be like, you know what? I've lived this long without you. I don't think I really care that much anymore.
Yeah, that's a hard pass. Just you got your life. You're good. I'm fine. I'm 18 now. I've got my grandma and my crazy mom and a best friend who's much better than me. I'll be okay.
Yeah. Well said. Becky, what do you think?
I think personally I would be curious. And I don't know, I'm like, if I were Darcy and like my mom's a hoarder, I don't know. I guess I would want to know what my dad's like.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I think getting a letter is probably the best introduction and not bombarded by like an in-person or a call. But like, I don't know what I would write back. Like, it would be really difficult for me, but I'm not a wordsmith like Darcy.
Yeah, it would be like when SpongeBob tries to do he writes the really fancy. That's probably as far as I would get if I did respond. But Dander, what would you say? If would you say anything?
I don't know. I have a very strange relationship with my father while knowing him, so I don't really know. I got daddy issues, so I don't know what I would do. I'd probably respond and try to be nice, but then cuss him out later.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice that I had allegedly been following her life and getting updates, maybe. Maybe that's like the silver lining, but I don't know. Briar, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's almost like the dad has like a parasocial relationship with the daughter because now he knows all this about her, but she knows nothing about him.
Yeah.
I would probably, if it was me, probably curiosity would lead me to meet him, but I don't know if I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna call you dad. Like, what's his name?
Yeah.
David. I
Yeah.
don't know. But I would, like probably meet him. But it was also weird that it was like not really a letter to be like, shall we start chatting? But it was, I'm coming in a year. Do you want to catch up in a year? And so it was just very weird.
Once again, it was kind of like an unfinished, just half of a storyline. Yeah. I don't know what I would do. I'm trying to think of like, cause I'm kind of like, yeah, I've lived this long without you. I really don't need you. But I also feel like she's one thing that I wanted to bring up and mention that I kind of wish that she had been more independent. I wish that she had been more self-sufficient. Like, if you're really this good at reading, then read a book about how to fix a friggin' sink or whatever it was. Like, she needed to fix a sink aerator. Do you know how easy that is? I did that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not even 20-minute fix. It's like less than that. So why don't you try to fix some things? Like, I don't know. I felt like maybe she does need somebody in her life who's going to help teach her some things. Maybe he would. I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough one.
She might not be as smart as we think she is. It took her 2 weeks of research to figure out how to sell something on eBay.
That's a really good point. And I actually didn't even realize that. Oh my God, that's a good point. Oh my God,
she's probably an idiot savant, like
yes.
she's really good at like memorizing books, but she sucks at everything else she ever did in her life.
That was such a good point. Yeah, you're right. She was like doing research, like staying up late at night reading books about it. And like, what? You know what? That's a great point. Wow. That one actually shocked me.
She grew up on the internet, so shouldn't she know how to do it?
Yeah, this book is recent. I think it was written pretty recently. Okay, let's see what my next question is. What was your reaction to the true reason behind the hoard? And what I'm referring to here is not that she was hoarding because the dad had left and the relationship was over, but that she had actually left her daughter.
That was so weird. So weird. I didn't even read it. I just heard you talk about it, and I was like, is she reading this wrong? This doesn't make any sense. Oh, I was gone for 8 months when you were a baby, and now I'm guilty about it for 18 years. Yeah. But you didn't try to make up for it by giving her things and said you just bought. I don't know. And then as soon as she says it, like a week later, she's like, I can start getting rid of stuff now. I don't think that's how hoarding works. I don't think a week later you're like, I'm good now. Yeah, everything's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like once you come clean, right? You know what? That's a great point. Also, it's just like, why is she only buying stuff for herself? She bought nothing for Darcy. Like Darcy was talking about how she doesn't have like new clothes, like her clothes don't fit. And it's like, what? Wouldn't you be buying stuff to like buy love like that? You know what I'm saying? Like that's a very common psychological thing that happens in a lot of houses, not even just hoarding houses, but probably especially there. That didn't make sense. She was gone for a few months, but went full hoarder. Her mom was basically absent from her daughter her entire life. Yeah, it made no sense. Looney, what was your reaction?
Yeah, does not compute. Yeah, I was waiting for something about like, I don't know, she was low on money or something, so she had to hoard whatever she had. But yeah, this doesn't make sense. Like, it felt like, oh, here's the big plot twist. I wasn't sad about losing your dad. I was sad about losing you. Like, okay, well, you got her back, and she was such a young baby. She doesn't even remember. So
One thing that you said too, like that happened also, that kind of what you said made me think of it. Didn't they say something about like the horde started off as like a collecting thing, maybe not even that long ago? Yeah, and it was like this is not some. Shouldn't it have started maybe a little longer? I don't know. I don't know anything about hoarding or the psychology of it, but
I
yeah,
think
I
they
wish we
said
could have
like,
learned.
yeah, yeah. They said that the grandma kind of collected stuff, and so did the mom up until this point, and then like this pushed her over into hoarding.
yeah, right. I guess I'm a little confused on the timeline of this. Dander, what did you think about the true like the revelation scene?
Which one, Kylie?
I,
You guys need
hey,
a
there were
question
a lot.
to me because people have a lot to add in, and I'm thinking about that, so I forget what we're talking about.
So the revelation was the true reason behind the horde was not because the dad left. It was because she had left Darcy.
Oh God, Granny is gaslighting again. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like this goes on to multiple levels. Everyone's lying to each other. Do we know the real reason? I mean, at this point, it's just I'm glad they're all in therapy.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
because it just seems ridiculous. The the mom's lying, the grandma's lying to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The mom's lying to her daughter, the daughter's lying to everybody. You know, it's really sad. I hope they find the help they need.
Me too. I'm really pushing for that. Briar, I don't see your camera anymore, but maybe you're still here. I'm not sure. um, we'll move on to the next person, and then we'll come back to her. Okay, what would you do if you were in Asher's position and had to start all over after an accident? P.S. Do you think it was safe for him to fly?
No, obviously not. He's like, I'm having migraines like a week ago. Oh, I'm fine now. Let's
Yep.
go up into an airplane.
Yep.
No, of course not. I
Just the two
mean,
of them.
yeah, just the two of them. They're not gonna have like a backup pilot or
Yeah.
anything. No, obviously, he's really worried about her safety. Um, I don't know. It sounded like this was a major trauma in his life. Like he had everything planned out. He was gonna go and be in the Naval Academy like his dad, like his grandpa, and then he got this accident. And he's like, "No, what am I gonna do? I don't know." I only got through the first 110 pages? Did he talk about what he's gonna do now that
Uh,
he's not doing that?
well, he did. So he did mention something. He said something about like she's his new dream or something like that. Like his dreams now include her, even though they knew each other for a
Didn't
week.
it have to do with like his school changing? Or he wasn't allowed to go back to the military school.
Yeah, like so he was going to go to the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis or something like that, which is allegedly very hard to get into. I'm sure it is. And he got the application. He had good SAT scores and everything. He was gonna fly planes or something, and then now he can't do that. So he's a handyman.
Yeah, he's
Um,
gonna go to the same college as her. That's and
yes,
he's like, I guess I got to go to this shitty college. He's like,
yep.
actually, I'm going there, and I think it's fine. He's like, I guess for you.
Yes, that's so true. Oh my God, San
I
Diego
don't
State.
was happy about her college choice though. Wasn't that a part of it too? I mean, like it's all just a blur to me. But didn't she want to like? She was only going to that college to stay around her mom.
Yes, you're right. So she wanted to stay by her mom, and like, so I guess that's part of his new plan is he's gonna, you know, whatever. I don't know. Go to San Diego State now. But what is he gonna do? He didn't say. It's like, what are you gonna make? Like, what's your major now? I don't know. That was really, really weird. Briar, what would you do if you're in Asher's position? You have to start all over from scratch.
Sorry, my dog. Oh my gosh, I had to move a room.
I see. I like the background though.
Wait, what was the question? About him flying or about?
Yeah, like first of all, do you think it was safe for him to fly again? Okay. And then number 2, yeah, I'm gonna turn my volume up. Sorry, guys. And number 2, if you were in Asher's position, you had to start all over from the accident. Like, what would you do? What would be your plan of action?
Like it just seems like a very someone's home. It seems like a very small limit of time to be able to fly. I don't know. It seemed to not really pass the vibe check of, yeah, you should be flying a plane now, especially since he had that whole spiel about you don't do anything if everything's not in the perfect conditions. So,
Right.
yeah. And then I don't know, him basing his whole life next bit or his new dream about Darcy was a bit much, but
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a good point because I feel like I kind of wished more for. Not that I need like high schoolers to be like super ambitious, but I felt like he wasn't. I feel like he could have been more ambitious, or like I wish that he had his own life or something almost like that. I don't know. I don't really. I feel like people are attracted to love interests at least who have something going on for themselves. I think that's just in life.
What did he have to
know?
offer?
Yeah.
Like it was great about him. I didn't see that once in the novel. It was just, yeah, I felt bad for him, but like, was it ever, was it ever like, oh, he's so good looking. Oh, he's so this, he's so that. No, he was just like oatmeal. He was oatmeal.
Yeah. I agree. I have to agree. Yeah, they once again, it wasn't well written. His character was not. He wasn't really that likable either. Okay. Let's get to some of these. Let's do the final questions, guys. Would you ever read another book from this author again? Be honest.
I could. This is not the type of book I usually read. I could probably get through another one. I think if she got an editor, she needs an editor who can tell her which scenes work, get the flow better between chapters. I think she could be fine, but probably not.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. That makes sense. Becky, what about you? You want to
Yeah,
round two?
for me, I mean, I'm realizing now, like is Asher Peter Pan because like he could fly? Was that?
Oh God.
I mean,
Oh my God, I just realized that.
yeah.
The whole
Well,
on this.
Oh my God, I just realized that. Oh my God, I feel so stupid.
well.
It makes it
Anyway,
worse. It makes it worse.
I normally don't even like try to like guess the plot twist or whatever. So obviously, when you first get introduced to the Peter Pan scribbled edition, you think, oh, it's Asher. But then for some reason later she says it's um it's a woman, it's a female. I don't know how she gathered that. Probably just I don't know, like
Yeah.
gender roles. I don't know. I was like,
Yeah.
does she draw hearts on the eyes and only women do that? I don't know. But once she
Allegedly.
said that, I was like, okay, she seems pretty sure about this. Okay, it's the mom. That's the only other
Yeah.
option. And I felt like pretty proud of myself that that I figured that out. And like the grape thing, no, like I don't care about like not liking grapes and then throwing into the no grape jelly thing. No, it's stupid. So I'm like, because so I mean I guess like it's kind of cool because I'm like she had a lot of books and like Darcy kept some of them and the rest got given away. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So so I'm like, but it's probably a bad sign that like I was able to guess that. I don't know, but maybe an 18-year-old for whom this book is for would read it, but it would still be boring to them. Like it's not. I feel like it's not even good for an 18-year-old. So I'm like, there's so many authors out there. I guess I would just skip this person's next book. She had her shot. This is not it.
No, we gave her the good old college try. We had 5 people read this book. I mean, that's a lot of people. Okay? And we're all sitting right here. Okay. Dander, would you ever read another book? Do you want to go round 2 with this
Are these
author?
closing remarks?
Look healthy.
What?
Are these closing remarks?
Oh
Are we?
no, no, this is not yet. No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Because I have something I want to close it with.
Okay.
Would I read another book? No, of course. What are you talking about? This was. I tried, like, my original idea was try to, like, come up with very redeeming things to, like, say about this book, but in the end I couldn't. No, I will not. And this was really hard to get through, and I think there's only, like, a reason 5 people are here, and one of them only read 100 pages.
Yeah. Sad but true. Okay, Briar. Would you read another book from this author?
I don't think that I could, and especially not on my own choosing. I would not.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys were forced, pretty much. Don't worry. I like honestly. I'm gonna say this in front of everybody.
Official lands for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this in front of everybody. This was the first book where I really considered like my behavior for once, and I self-reflected, and I'm like, you know what? I can't keep reading these books. I really can't. Like this, even for me, was really bad. I've read a lot of bad books, like young adult, and even for me, I was like, you know what? I need to read my own age books. I really do.
Would you say this is kind of like you being Darcy, realizing she has a hoarding issue? Maybe?
I'm a hoarder of young adult content.
Yeah.
Books. I'm not gonna say content. That doesn't sound right. Books. I really like this one. I feel genuinely like I've made you guys read bad books before. Like that to me that's funny. Like that was funny, but this time I really don't feel good about what I did. Like I feel
you liked the alphabet kissing book that I just heard your synopsis about. Like that was funny. Like it was so bad it made you angry, and I liked that. Whereas this book is just boring and kind of incoherent. So it's
Oh my god, I forgot about that book I made you read. It was an A to Z kissing.
No, we didn't read it. You just gave a review of it, and after that review, I'm not going to read it, but
that's right.
It was a funny synopsis, at least.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, guys, let's do our closing statements. This is your time to get everything out that you want to get out. You know, I'll leave it with this. Is this the worst book that we've ever read? If you've participated before, is this the worst one that I've ever made you read? Yes or no? And, you know, just take it away. Like, just give us your final thoughts, your closing statements. This is your time to really let it all out. And by the way, if you want to make any other points, like if you liked something and you didn't mention it, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
This is the worst book club book I've read, but this is the only one. So, but no, it was pretty bad. I just don't think the author, I think she needs an editor. I think she needs some more practice. I think she needed like to go back through this and really like look at the pacing. I was just thinking about like Asher, the character, and I think he's worse than we even thought. So like he in high school before he had the accident, he's got kind of top tier. He's like one of the top tier in his high school. He's got a top tier girlfriend. He's got plans. He's got ambition. He gets in this accident, and like the girlfriend like sticks with him, but he just becomes such like a dirt bag that he's like, you know what? I think I just need to find somebody broken that kind of makes me feel better about myself. What about that girl? She never talks to anybody, and she's like a weird like word robot. We'll go with that. We'll just make that my life now. I can feel better than my word robot girlfriend. And that seems like a bad basis for a book.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Yeah, you're right. It's like, you're right. No, you're right about that. I didn't even think about that. Because you're right. Because she stuck by him through all of it, and he just never... You know, sometimes I thought he would have like a self-reflection moment of like, you know, maybe he did some bad things too. about, you know, maybe he shouldn't have gone out that night. I don't know. I wish there was like a bigger revelation. So yeah, he was to me, I don't know that this is the worst book that I've ever read. I don't know this is the worst book club book. I've made you read a lot of bad ones. I know that you didn't read those, but they were bad. Some of them are really bad. The first one I made you guys read was bad with the road trip. But you know, I feel like this was probably the worst love interest of all of them, in my opinion. Like, just the worst. Okay. Becky, closing statements, you have the floor.
Okay, can I mention the book that's not supposed to be named or whatever?
All right, fine. The book that I abandoned, yeah.
Well, wouldn't you have rather read that? You don't even know that.
Yeah, I would.
There was this scene in The Bodyguard where they're in the hospital for the love interest's mom, and the main guy is a celebrity, and the titular bodyguard is our heroine.
Right.
And she like has to hide his face from a gaggle of teenage girls coming through the hospital hall, and she like makes it look like they're kissing. So then,
in that book too?
There's a paparazzi shot of it. Oh, and the guy has a girlfriend. So I'm like, Darcy got the idea to do this alleyway thing from The Bodyguard.
Oh my God. I didn't know that happened in both those books. It almost looks like I have like a thing for that now, that I keep picking books that have those scenes.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than Spice, I guess.
Oh God.
Weird.
I might have to start reading R-rated after this one. Okay, so
I don't know.
Well, what else? Okay, what else besides that? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, when I like the back of the book is dark blue and light blue.
Oh Jesus Christ! That's what you have to say.
And she's like reading a book that looks like this book, but she looks like she's having more fun than we did.
Yeah.
But like I had high hopes because of like this cover art, like with this cute like anime looking guy.
Yeah.
Like he seems like he's a book character. Like I don't know. I thought she like made up a book boyfriend or something. I feel like that would have been more interesting. But really, it was just Asher.
What was the like? Let's talk about that for a second. What was the lost thing? The library of lost things. It's like, what was lost? What the fuck are we losing?
Oh God, we never even thought about that. Did we?
Literally, what was lost?
It was just as smart as the beach of Lost Summers or whatever.
Oh, right.
Like,
what was that called again?
What was lost?
Summer of Broken Things.
Our Time.
Oh my God.
You didn't read it.
Summer of Lost Time.
My time.
It wasn't Lost Time. It was Summer of Broken Promises.
Broken Promises, and there was no Broken Promises.
There were a few.
There were a few. My bad. Becky, anything else?
I guess the lost thing is London and Asher's relationship. There's nothing wrong with it. It just had to end because Darcy's the main character.
Yeah, that's her man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was bad. It was pretty bad. Yeah. Dander, what's your closing? You have the floor. So.
Sure. All right.
I know you have something prepared.
I have two things. Let me end this first with a poem that hit me really hard. Remember when it was me who grabbed time by its fine-boned neck? Black cloaked, I feel the pulse. Stop the red pulsing heart of the universe. You saw me then, staring for long minutes that no longer were, until I released my hold. Time doubled under coughing spurts, bruised, staggering backward too far into the breath of yesterday. Peter Pan, the mystery scribbler.
How was that?
That was a poem from chapter 25 or something. And then my personal thoughts, in the end, Asher got to fly again, just like Peter Pan. He was also able to successfully attach a shadow Darcy.
Oh,
Mic drop. See you guys.
Wow. Wait a minute. Is that how Peter Pan goes with like Wendy? Is she Wendy then? Or what?
I don't know. Well, the way Wendy meets Peter Pan is he flies into her room and is trying to like put his shadow back onto him. So I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know if she's Wendy. She's more like the crocodile and
You know what?
Captain Hook.
Why was there no scene where they like went back and did like a dramatic revisitation of Delmar Heights Road? We went like, where was that? Like, why didn't they go back to the scene of the crime and kind of maybe done a little, like, here is what it was, or no? Like, maybe they could have flown over it. I don't know. Maybe that's too soon.
They could have done it like from those crime shows where like they see it and they like see it like in 3D happening as they're watching it.
Yes. Now that would be good. Okay. Seems like they might be too soon for that. Okay. Briar, you have the floor. This is your time to get out any final thoughts. Okay.
Okay. Well, I wrote down because I found her descriptions of things really strange. I just wrote down creamy lotion because I just didn't understand why then you said and sure the other half was her bestie. Oh yes, and I think my favorite part though was when she was saying how much she hated e-readers, and I was reading it on mine.
Yeah,
so
same.
I felt some satisfaction knowing that she would hate that. I had to take the power back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like there was. It was like multiple stories within a story, and because it was such a chaotic mess, none of them were good, and it made it really hard to read.
It was hard to read. Yeah, it was hard. I really wanted to give up. I wanted to give up. But you know what? Can I just say this in front of everybody? Like, you see the five of us wait, is it five? Yeah. The five of us sitting here. I mean, we've accomplished something that not a lot of people can say. And we got through one of the worst books, like, that's ever been made. Like, that's a lot. I mean, okay, not over here, but most of us got through this book in its entirety. That's a lot. We should really be proud of ourselves. I think so.
Being invited to everyone's wedding at this point.
I know. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, I already got married, but I'll come to your weddings, guys, if you'll have me. But yeah, I feel like we kind of have a pact now, like the four of us here. I feel like, and Carmen was here for a while, but we do have now, we're kind of tethered to each other. That feels good. I think that's something that we can really,
I never felt more hopeful about the future with people like you by my side.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And you know what? I think that it can only go up from here. I think it can go up from here. So my next one, I promise. This is my promise to you, because I know you guys will all be at the next book club. Is that right? I can count on you. Okay.
We'll make it through this. We can make it through anything.
Honestly, this is getting inspirational.
Yeah,
I might start crying.
Honestly, we learned a lot of analytical skills, and those things were lost, and now they're found. Library of found things.
They were lost, and honestly, you're right. Yeah, this is really good, guys. So
they found.
We were found. Yeah. So yeah, guys, I don't know. I appreciate you all coming. I hope to see you at the next one. I don't know when we're going to announce the next book club, but yeah, I hope that next time it'll be a collaborative effort, so this doesn't ever happen again. I apologize. You guys will not get that time back. I'll just be honest with you. You won't. And for that, I do have to apologize. I'll take some ownership. So this was bad. But I appreciate you all being here. I will never forget you. I will be VIPing all of you in the chat. I think I already did for Dander, but you guys earned it today. You earned it. You earned your stuff. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you at the next meeting. This was awesome. And Yes, everybody wait. So, okay, did you get new internet? I did. All right, guys, I'll see you. Thank you.
Bye, guys. I had so much fun today. Thank you.
Love it. Okay, so I'm going to take these guys. See ya. No, I'm kidding. Whew. Good God, you guys. That was... I gotta be honest, I'm gonna say this. Although it was really bad, it was really fun. That was probably my favorite book club meeting, honestly, that we've had so far. And it was like, yeah, fart noises all around. This book gets 5 out of 5 farts.